us all. Some shine bright, some shine small. The rains will come and the waters rise, but don't you
The Loretto Sisters began over 400 years ago with the purpose of sharing the faith with young people and particularly educating women and girls. When we came to Guelph in 1856, there was no secondary education for young women. Things were very hard. They were poor. They wouldn't have had many supplies in terms of books and pencils and that kind of thing. The small children didn't pay fees. And in fact, that was an important part of the whole history of Catholic education. Sisters of St. Joseph, the Christian Brothers, and others taught children for nothing in elementary schools until finally in 1867, or perhaps a little bit earlier, schools became tax supported. Because we've always been concerned about the role of women, the place of women, the safety of women, the culture of women, there are two areas that we're really focusing on now. One is on Indigenous women in Canada, and the other is on the whole situation of trafficking of women and children. And so we have sisters all over the world actually working against trafficking. But I'm not the only person who have received a sort of second call, because if you think about Sister Christine was trained as a teacher. And Sister Christine taught in Vancouver and taught in, I think, Stratford. She certainly taught school for a very long time. And then about 35 years ago, she began to hear another call, and it was the poor. It was the people living on the streets. It was the people in the Guelph Reformatory who had no one to care for them. And as you know, it's had several locations, but it's now a successful business on Gordon Street, and it's called the Welcome In Drop In. And it will continue now, we hope, for the future without Christine, because she really set in place a whole organization of people who were willing to do what needed to be done for the poor of the city.
in this life? You will know love and pain, joy and sorrow. So when it hurts, when times get hard, don't forget whose child you are. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine.
The drop-in center opened in 1983. That means we've been around for 30 years. And the reason we've been around for 30 years is because people have seen the need. And especially the school teachers, especially the principals, have helped us be who we are today. We get a lot of food from them, we get other donations from them, we get their love and support. The other thing I think why we're here, it's the people. It's the people who keep us going. It's the people who give us light. It's the people who help us to be free, help us to understand what it is if you don't have a lot of money. It's the people who let us know what's really important in life. Each one of us has a mission. Each one of us has a call. And we have to answer that call, but we can't do it without an education.
But I have a question, and that is, it's one that you have to reflect on, I think. What is the future of Catholic education? Are our schools going to survive? And what is it that's going to keep them alive? It's going to be faith. It's going to be a willingness to risk talking about God in front of students, even if they snicker. It's going to mean sometimes introducing your class with a prayer or the sign of the cross, or just remembering that we are in the presence of God. The kinds of things that keep us faithful to the message of Jesus are simple things. They don't demand a great deal of personal crucifixion or a lot of time or hard work. It's just being willing to say, I believe, and I'm going to share my belief. My faith is important, and the only way that my students can catch that is through me.
You get, let your eyes get wide when you look at the stars with the same sense of wonder as a
Sister Doreen, if you knew her, enough said. She was everything a teacher should be for her students. Caring, passionate, engaging, and most of all, she loved what she did and the students she did it with. She made each of her students smile every day, and she called them by name and made them feel precious every day.
As I come full circle and I end my career in education, I am forever grateful to all Sisters of Loretto for the life lessons and passing on their joy, commitment, friendship, and examples of faith to their students, colleagues, and everyone who crossed their path.
Those black habits swishing down the halls of an elementary school seemed ominous and almost scary. Then came the straight mid-calf navy skirts, tucked-in white blouses, buttoned to the neck, topped with an unstructured long jacket and unfashionable brogues, presenting a stoic and austere female form. But then the more liberal sisters, at the secondary school, wore flowered blouses, sweaters, or heavens, pants, and one in particular sported dyed red hair. I began to wonder, these girls just want to have fun.
My mother attended the Guelph Loretto Academy in the mid-1930s. When my grandmother died in December of 1932, my mom was only 13 years old. My mother often spoke of how much she appreciated the guidance and friendship of the sisters during her years at Loretto. One of the specific things she recalled was how the sisters took her under their wings, so to speak, and made sure she had the appropriate dress, her hair done, she was prepared for her graduation ceremony. Mother's favorite teacher was Mother Olga.
You formed me and hundreds like me into what I hope is a better Catholic person. Without the guidance of these wonderful servants of the Lord, heaven only knows what would have become of myself and the other kids, teens, and adults of the Guelph Wellington Catholic School Board.
I remember being taught by the Sisters of Loretto. I immediately have a memory come to mind. The first was when I was in grade 4. Sister Gilbert had a very rough class of boys who she kept under control with a very firm hand. One day, she asked me to step out into the hall. I was trembling, for I thought I was going to get a taste of her firm hand of control. Instead, she said, with a very kind voice, what I remember to this day, "Joseph, what is it that is bothering you today? You seem upset." Well, I burst into tears as she hugged me close. I had just lost my grandmother, whom I was very close to. I was crying for my grandmother, but also because this was a very tough nun who cared enough to notice I was in pain and was holding me close and giving me comfort.
Wisdom, courage, and honor. The motto of my school, modeled by the Sisters of Loretto, has guided me throughout my life. My gratitude is sent to so many sisters with whom I've had the privilege to know and form lifelong relationships. We will deeply miss their vibrant presence in Guelph.
I love how my teachers care for me. I'm a new student at this school and people made me feel special. I like learning about stories that help me be a better person.
I liked communion because it made me feel special.
I like learning about God because it makes me feel good.
My wish for the future is that Catholic schools keep being a place of hope for everyone.
I'm very thankful to have an education because some people don't receive that gift.
This is my first year at the Catholic school and everybody's been very nice to me.
This is my first year in Canada and I like to be in a Catholic school because everybody's closer to me and there's more responsibility.
I'm looking forward to high school when I get to take religion classes and learn about other types of religion.
I think that Catholic school should keep being like home.
So this is my first time being in a Catholic setting, and I'm really surprised by how open the people are, and that has changed me by making me a more open person and a well person all around.
In the future, I hope that kids like me get to spend the time together as a community having a gift like Mass.
I hope that Catholic education continues in the future because it's helped me a lot in my own life, and I hope that it can continue to help others in future endeavors.
Being in a Catholic school, I'm very appreciative of how the spiritual and the faith aspects are expressed through our interactions every day between different students and teachers. Myself, I'm not Catholic, but I can see and observe how people use these teachings in their day-to-day lives.
Treasure the time, and for those who are gone, keep their memories alive. Hold on to your dreams, don't ever let go. There's a fire inside you, burn it with hope. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. There will be days when you wanna give up, when the clouds settle in. But after the rain comes the sun, don't you ever forget. Don't forget, child, don't forget. One day there will be no more pain, and we will finally see Jesus' face. So until then, I'm gonna try to brave the dark and let my little light shine.
Somebody fall down, Eric.
This little light of mine,
Cut up.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, sisters. Thank you, sisters. Sisters. Thank you, 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 sisters.
I like to be in a Catholic education because it brings light in my life.